Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pips and seeps, welcome back to the Mac Life, the #1 podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 152. If you're new to the channel, we go over absolutely everything to do with growing your brand online, monetizing that brand, Onlyfans marketing for creators, and Onlyfans management. So how to make money by managing girls' Onlyfans accounts. Now, I do these in a podcast style format. So essentially, if this is the first video you've watched, we're in every fucking hidden crevice of the internet. And essentially, these are long format videos. They're non-edited. There's no cuts, chops, changes, all of that shit. This is just raw, organic information. And it's a document of my journey from where I am now all the way to $100 million. And on top of that, me and you, okay, we get to build like a little mini relationship during this time. I share with you some business principles. And then after that, we get into the juice. So today's video that I'll be showing you, I'm filming 2 OnlyFans videos today. Two main business teachings. One is this style and one is just pure business strategy. So if you like that style where it's just OnlyFans, I recommend subscribing because it'll be in the OnlyFans training section and the business training section, and that one's going to be an absolute banger too. We're slower. We're starting off slow today, but in today's video, we're going to be focusing on how to build up not only to a 1K a day with no social following, but showing you some students in the Hive who are already doing that. So this isn't just like a theory of how you can build up to 1K a day. This is legitimately, this is what you do to get to $1,000 a day with no social following, and this is other people doing it. So why can't you do it? So we're going to get into that, but we have a few updates to get through first. It's going to be one of those mornings I can already feel. It's like yesterday's podcast with the Invisalign. There's obviously some massive changes happening like in my teeth at the moment because my ability to speak has been compromised. Now, if you've been watching, you'll notice I didn't get verified on Instagram after all that effort, hard work, all that money outlay. Unfortunately, we didn't get the verification on Facebook. The dude has replied and he said he's having a call with the Facebook team today. I have no idea why that would be relevant at all. However, you know, they're all ticked up, all these guys, so they do have some credibility. And I watched them go from no ticks to ticks. So I know that the process works. It's just, do I trust them? Probably not as much as I did at the start. But he's having a call with the Facebook team today. And then after that, he's going to give me an update today. So I'll either be getting a full refund today or we'll be good to submit again, hopefully within the month. But I'll find out more today and I'll let you all know in tomorrow's podcast. You know, unfortunately, it doesn't always work out 100%. That's just business. But you don't change the goal. You just change your method. You have to be persistent. And maybe the method might be unfortunate. It's going to take 10x longer. That's understandable. But it is what it is. I already have options again lined up. And I talk about the importance of social proofing. I already have hookups that can get me put into Forbes, Entrepreneur Mag, a whole range of different things too. So might just go that route. Google removed my Google panel as well. And I was like, why did it remove my Google panel? But it was so it could populate a new one because of how much traction these podcasts have been getting. It populated a new Google knowledge panel that's all about the podcast business. It put a picture, it put everything. So apparently we're trending. Great work. Okay. I need to figure out a solution for travel because travel's coming up soon. I'm going away on Thursday to get the last set of Invisalign for whatever months are left. And then I can plan the Euro trip, head to Europe, head to Dubai, do all these things that'll tie in with getting the veneers. But I need to figure out a better option for the camera for the MacBook Air. I think I have to buy the new MacBook Air, so I'll just go buy that. And I'll go in at the exact same time and get the new iPhone, so I'll tether it. So I can get them on the same day and get all the Apple Care or whatever the fuck you need. Get it all at once. And you can buy like a little clip-on 4K camera, which apparently doesn't need it doesn't have any fuck arounds. Like you don't need to set up the lightning cable adapter to a USB. It just has USB-C, which I think is what the Mac uses. So we can just set up straight on top 4K. I'm not sure about the audio quality though. For the videos that I've been recording on the iMac, I use this Blue Yeti mic and it works perfect. However, on the MacBook Air, I think the audio is going to be dodgy with the internal audio. And I don't know how I can get a big ass mic around while traveling. So we'll have to have a play around with that. Fuck, voice, what is going on today? It is just, I'm suffering with the voice. Oh, that's a cutie. We got we got this little, is that the neighbour's dog that dude's walking? There's these little British, like, bulldogs. I think it's British bulldogs, the ones with the long noses, and they got some puppies next door too, so mega cute. Okay, that's the plan for that. I moved the price of the hive mind up. I am the man that always talks about increasing price, charging a premium, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm a man of my word. I put my price up for the hive mind. It's been increased again, and it will just continue to increase and increase and increase. And if you look what happened in the last 2 days since I've done it, or the last day and a half, we're getting more. I know it's too early for data, but we're getting more orders. We're getting more people sign up for the hive. So isn't that surprising? I'm charging more. We're getting even more signups at an even higher price point. Premium pricing is the 100% number one thing you must do in any business. You know, Alex Hormozi talks about it, and it's very, very important. Unless your strategy is to enter the market as the lowest possible price point and you want to mass sell, and that is your game. Not, make sure you understand what I said then. The lowest, not a low price point, the lowest of anyone in the field. Unless that is your game and you have a 100% strategy to do that at mass, at scale. I'm talking $1 million scale at mass to do that. There is no competitive advantage to being the second cheapest on the market. You're just competing on price with everyone else and taking home no profit. You're essentially just what we call a fucking charity. So thank you for operating in the market. But there is a massive competitive advantage for being the most expensive on the market. Most of you guys, you know, I say, well, I chat with some hive members and I say inside, we have our upsell ladders that we work through. And I say, so what do you charge that's $10,000? And they say, well, no one to pay $10,000. I say, base rate fallacy. What do you charge that's $10,000? If you don't even have the option, okay, there are whales in this game. There are 1%ers that will come through and purchase. And it doesn't need to be everyone. Even 1%, even one order in 1,000 adds an extra 10K to whatever it is you're selling. Premium. And then on top of that, what it does is it's a price anchor. So if people see that there's something available for $10,000 and you show them, hey, my premium service is $10,000, and 99% of people are like, no fucking way I'm buying that. But then you say, oh, don't worry, because I also do custom videos for $350. They're like, wow, that's infinitely cheaper. See how expensive it was for the premium, $10,000. Now $350 for the custom video seems very, very cheap. Even though a custom video for $350, if you price it like most basic bitches, seems very expensive, because most girls say, well, it's $10 for a picture, it's $20 for a video, and then imagine if they tried my pricing and didn't change the other shit. It's $10 for a picture, it's $25 for a video, and it's $350 for a custom. People would be like, fuck no. But if you said, my premium service is $10,000, and they say, no way, that's too much for me, and you say, well, that's fine. Maybe a custom video is better for you, it's only $350. And they go, oh, that's still a bit steep. And you say, well, how about a picture? I can do you a sexy picture. They're only $100. And they're like, fuck yeah. That definitely suits me. $100 compared to 10K. Because pricing is imaginary. It's made up. It's in the ether. It's not real. You can charge whatever you want. It's just the way in which you say things make people perceive the value differently. And I learned this in e-com, okay? This is where I went very, very correct in e-com, and a lot of people went very, very wrong. They would say, okay, it's $50 for the product and then $17 for shipping. And people would say, oh, fuck, $15 plus they've got to add on another price. And like, don't worry about it. I'd say it's $67 and I also will throw in free express shipping. Exact same scenario, exact same price point. We're selling at the exact same price point. I've just rearranged things differently. Yours is $50 plus you've got to pay this extra shit just to get it to you. Mine is $67, which barely seems like much more. And I'll throw in free express shipping. So you're getting something for free to get to you. So it's just the psychology and the way in which you word things. And the conversion rate difference in just that scenario is massive. So think of how many different ways you could change things in your business. Today feels almost sluggish, like the potty's a little bit slower, but you know what? I have a topic down here as well. I was thinking, but it's a hard way up because of the fact that I want to travel still. I'll be traveling. but I do want a home base. I want to kind of buy an office, like a big ass warehouse office space, buy it, not rent it, buy a big ass place, and commit myself to the grind even more. Like, sleep in the office. Like, just throw a mattress in there, sleep in the office, and set it up like just pro film, and honestly bump out like 10 videos a day. Like, just go full fucking, you know, Hugh Hefner building Playboy Mansion. If you look at what he was like when he built the Playboy magazine, sleeping in the office day after day, people say, oh, that's not healthy. I think it will be exhilarating, like, to be that committed to the grind. Like, just set it up, coffee machine in there, full fucking setup, and then get some proper lighting. But in my head, I'm weighing it up and I'm like, is it really a strategic business move though? Sure, I might get more output, but is it really that beneficial? I think it's more because I want to make these videos a little bit better. So let me know, because, you know, the way in which I feel the videos could be better is a better setup. Like, I've seen people that have multiple depths. Like, they'll have a wall with a bit here and then a little bit back, and then they'll have the orange light here, then the blue light there, and it looks like ultra professional. They have the top down lighting. I could do that, but it does that really? Then I weigh up exactly what I was talking about yesterday. Alex Hormozi built his business to, I believe he said, 10 million first from a closet before ever enhancing, before ever doing anything else. Now he started all these editing style videos and da-da-da-da-da. It was funny, I was reading through the comments and a lot of people said, as much as these videos are awesome, your editor does a great job, I love it. I really miss the old gritty whiteboard explainer style videos that felt natural and just normal paced. And so I'm like, fuck, like, it's a hard choice for me to understand, like, what is my own biases towards wanting to produce the coolest or the sexiest looking content compared to with what's the most valuable, and on top of that, what's the most effective, because the flash isn't always that effective. And yeah, it's just a hard concept. So let me know down in the comments, what do you think an office space would be cool? We could set it up, we could have like different stages and set up, could probably set up a big proper podcast area with the Mac Life lighting in the background, a big desk, a soundboard, all that shit. Or will that just take away from the organic feel of these? Then I'm on the road traveling, and then it's such a hard fucking way up, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to have a look today at some warehouse. I'm going to ring some of the agents around here and even just go and have a look at some of the warehouse spaces, because I think more than anything, I find that shit exciting. I don't know if maybe you're the same, but I find it exciting to go somewhere new. Say you get a new house, a new whatever it is, and it's like, it feels like fresh. Like, okay, I'm starting this project. Let me clean everything. Let me get the lighting. Let me get this. Let me get that. The setup stage is like exciting. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Give me some fucking feedback. I know you're all watching this, so give me some feedback. Now next, I want to talk about, we have only 3 more points, and then we're going to get into the OnlyFans content. Today's OnlyFans content's fucking banger as well, by the way, because if you are just starting out OnlyFans and you have no money coming in, like, this is a life changer. Imagine not knowing how to make money, and then all of a sudden you can figure out how to make 1K a day. Or even if you can replicate this to 10%. Let's say you're not even an average person in the hive. Let's say you're a little bit cognitively capped, like I was as a younger child, or a little bit downhill, and you can even replicate 10% of this result. You're still making $100 a day. You're still making a full-time wage a week here in Australia, $700 a week, even if you're in the bottom 10%. If this works 10% for you. So make sure you fucking stick around, because there's some juice down here. Now the next thing, I want to recap, because I've been recapping it and if you've noticed the way that I'm recapping this, I'm doing it where I tell you something and then I wait a little bit of time and then I tell you again, I wait a little bit longer and I tell you again. It's called spaced repetition learning. So essentially, by getting you to recall information over longer periods of time, okay, I'm helping to cement it as long-term memory. Now, I've talked about the 4 pillars of leverage, which comes, again, like 90% of the information that I'm acquiring is what I'm getting from Alex Hormozi, and then I'm utilizing it and using it and testing. And so I've worked on information minimization this year, which has been reduction of minimization, trust a credible 1 or 2 sources and focus on that. And the results I've had are massive. So it's like, you notice all the principles and the things I'm learning are coming from like a source. And what I thought would be awesome is once I build up this to maybe 100K, where I've got at least 100K subs, I'll reach out to Alex and with just 3 questions and ask him if I can get like just 5 minutes of his time to answer 3 questions for this channel. So it's just like organic. I might even just put that inside the Hive and nowhere else, but we'll see. That's still a while off yet. Anyway, the thing that I wanted to remind you, probably already know. The 4 pillars of leverage. We have 4 pillars of leverage that we can use to utilize any business. And I'm looking at them today because I'm looking at how can I realistically take my brand from where it is now to 10x. I don't care if that takes a long period of time. I don't care if that takes a mass amount of volume. I'm just thinking though, is that possible with the time? Is that possible with the volume? Because if you look at it and you say, oh, well, that's still going to be challenging even over 10 years, then you need to re-strategize. That's a different strategy. But if you could look at something and say in 10 years, it's pretty likely that that will happen, then that's fine. Put in the 10 years, put in the volume and enjoy it. Just set a big enough goal that when you get there, you're like, that was worth the 10 years that I put into it. Because you don't get too many 10-year chunks. Your first 10 years, you're essentially a human potato. The next 10, you're in what I call the wasted years. They were at school. You know, you learn pretty much what sets you up for the rest of your life. And it could have been capitalized so much better. You know, when I have kids, I will have them attend school maybe 1 day a week for the social aspect. The other four days of learning, but I believe learning is a 7-day thing. Like, weekends don't mean anything. They're just a thing that we've put on. Like, oh, you get the weekend off because you get the weekend off because of the fact that you work a 9-to-5 job. That's why you get the weekend off. But it's like, that isn't a real concept. That's a frame that we've made up. But I believe teaching and learning is a 7-day process. Like, you just learn every day. You learn until you burn out. And then when you burn out, you take a rest and then you can get back into it. When I have kids, it will be like they go to school 1 day a week to socialize, make friends, do whatever else. And then the other 6 days will be spent, you know, language lessons, flying a plane, doing all that other shit. Have a chef come in and show them how to cook, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And to do that as well, you need a lot of money. Hence why building the big fucking Mac Life empire. Now, let me tell you these damn 4 things because I keep getting sidetracked. The 4 pillars of leverage. Number 1, people/labor. Leveraging other people's time and leveraging other people's labor. That's number 1. Number 2 is probably one of my favorites, which is software. Okay, number 1 is my least favorite. It's the one I struggle at the most. Number 2 is leveraging software, leveraging code to do something for you. Code doesn't lie. It holds you accountable if you've made a mistake, and it holds itself accountable if it makes a mistake. It says, look, there was a server error, da-da-da-da-da. Instant feedback. It's a one-time trade for a massive payout. So number 2, you can leverage is software. Number 3 is to leverage media. Okay, so you can leverage one-to-many. Instead of speaking one-to-one, you speak one-to-many. And then number 4 is to leverage capital. Now, most people think that the rich just leverage capital, but that is the ultra rich that do that at a compounding rate. Even in the, you know, the millionaire stage, it's more, you know, it's still hard to get things just by leveraging capital. Look at how much money I've just thrown at experts to do Instagram verification. But I still need to leverage people. Like, I need better connections. I need to know better people in the industry to get it for me. Like, I've spent a massive amount of money and fucked around for a year and I'm still not verified. So it's not a capital issue, okay? It has nothing to do with a capital issue. It's that I have a lack of the ability to leverage the right people. They're the 4. I kind of mentioned it a second ago when I got off track talking about kids, but the way I think one should work is, you know, I won't have kids for a long time yet, but the way in which one I believe is the most effective for work is just work hard at mass volume, something you can do for 10 years, but work hard until you burn out. People say, oh, but you're going to burn out. Yeah, but have you ever actually burnt out? A lot of people say, you'll burn out, but those people have never even reached burnout before. You don't even know what it feels like. Work until you burn out and then take a break. You're going to get infinitely more done. Work until you burn out and then take a break. And what you'll realize is usually you don't need that long of a break because it's just like you've built yourself up to all this preconceived stress that's not even real. And then you burn out. And then after 1 day sitting around, 2 days, you're watching Netflix. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to get back to work. It's not that bad. And then you get back into it anyway, and you get infinitely more done. You build again until you burn out. That's the fucking... And you know who talks about this concept is Mr. Beast. The biggest channel on YouTube, or one of the biggest channels on YouTube. He just works all day until he's burnt out, and then that's it. And then he wakes up every day, and that's all he does. His whole life is fucking YouTube. How can you compete with someone like that? And you say, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to work a healthy amount and lifestyle balance with this and lifestyle balance. Yeah, you can, but you just can't, you can't compete with the top dogs who do that. And so pick one industry, I believe, and just stick with it to burn out. And, you know, it's such a weird concept because I read the book that was, it definitely was helpful, but it was helpful at the time and I recommended it a lot, but it's almost counter helpful as well. And it's called The One Thing. And it talks about focusing on the one thing that's the most important. And whilst that is very true, if you knock down one domino each day, it leads to a bigger domino until, you know, it only takes, I don't know what he said mathematically, if it increases by 1.5, it only takes 100 dominoes or something and you could knock over the world or knock over the universe. But it's like the main thing of that book was focusing just for 3-hour periods and then that's it, which I believe is true, but they should have said like a 3-hour period on one thing, micro break, then redo it again. 3-hour period, micro break on one thing, then do it again. Like, it shouldn't just be 3 hours for your entire day. Not if you want to be successful. But when I say work, it could be 3 hours of filming YouTube content, then 3 hours of looking at stats in your business and setting up new frameworks. Then it could be 3 hours of language learning, which could be beneficial to business later on. Then it could be 3 hours of different skill acquisition. But it should just be like constant growth. So why do I have so much saliva today? It's from these teeth. They're moving so much. It's this tooth. Like I have one tooth it used to be so far back. Now it's all the way at the front. But it's like, I feel like these need to come like that. Which is, I think, the last stage of this. And then they're all completely straight. But it's fucking wrecking havoc in me. So that's it. Oh, last thing I want to talk about is people don't understand micro growth, and then we're going to get into the Onlyfans content. You look at the start of the year when I was gaining 30 subscribers a month, and I've told people I put in the work, put in the volume, da-da-da-da-da. Now I'm gaining 600 a month. When I checked the studio today, I'm at 590 something. It dropped a little bit and up and down a little bit, but it fluctuates between days. But I'm gaining around 600 a month. So even if I look at it, how much of an increase is that from the start of 1 year? It hasn't even been a year, but till now. That's pretty much a 20x increase, okay? Because if I was gaining 30 times 10, 300, so we can times again by 2, which gives us a 20x. I've increased 20x. So if it was just to hold at this growth rate, which it won't because it's compounding. If it was to hold at this, and I said, well, look, I'll give it another full year. Even a 20x on what it's doing now means I'll be gaining 12,000 subscribers a month by that point next year. So I'm keen to test, I'm keen to see, and I'll be here another year from now. We'll be at podcast episode nearly fucking 500 or whatever. It's going to be something ridiculous. So yeah, is what it is. Let's get into the OnlyFans content. The stuff that you're here for, the juice, okay? Let's get into it. So today we're going to look at 1K days, how to get there with no OnlyFans following. Now, there's something no social following. Now, there's something very, very important that I want to break down first, is there's two notions of people that are watching this video, okay? This is very important. One side of you is saying this, okay? And I believe the most of you are in the second category. One side of you is saying, I don't have a social following. You know, I'm only a small-time creator. I don't do stuff. You know, I don't have a big social following. And I want to learn how to make money without a social following because I don't have a big social following. And that's why I'm here. Now, the second one may sound similar, but it's very different. The second set of people are saying, I don't have a social following. I like to keep my anonymity. I don't want to have a presence online. But those two are wildly different because one can be very, very successful and one can only be slightly successful, but it wouldn't even be worth it. If you're saying, I want to grow an OnlyFans account and make money with OnlyFans without a social following because I don't want people to see me online. I want to be, anonymous, but I want to make money. It's very, very hard for you to grow, and you're almost wasting your time. Sure, you can make some money, but you've put too many caps on things. You won't let accountants see your bank account because it'll say OnlyFans. You don't want friends and family to see you, or those things to pop up, or maybe a husband or whatever it is. Okay. You don't want to leverage different social medias and show your face because you don't want people to know. You've already set so many caps on, you're saying, I want to succeed, I want this result, but I'm not willing to do all these prerequisites, which are the majority of things that will get you there. So scenario 2 is very different from scenario 1. Scenario 1 is saying, which I hope is you, because honestly, if you're number 2, this video, it's still going to be applicable, but I recommend you just go start a different business. Honestly, just go start a different business. Don't participate in something that you can't commit to 100%, especially not business. It's the hardest playing field in the world. If you're in number 1, however, and you're coming from a position of, well, I don't have a big social following, but I'm comfortable with doing this industry. I want to learn how to make money, but I don't have a big following. You're in a wildly different position, because now you can say to yourself the question. You've pretty much answered it yourself. Whilst this video is going to show you how to get there without a social following too, your goal should be to grow a social following, because let's inverse your question. You wouldn't be here Googling this if you had a big social following. You wouldn't be typing, how do I make $1,000 a day with no social following? It's how to make $1,000 a day with no social following. You wouldn't be typing in, how do I make $1,000 a day? I have a big social following. You would just innately know what to do. You would just be like, fuck, I have a big audience. I'll just post on some things. So when you think about it, isn't the answer for long-term success quite simple? Inverse the whole equation. I make $1,000 a day because I have a big social following. Now I'm about to show you a method, like I said, that doesn't involve the social following, but I have a big following. I make $1,000 a day easily because I have a big social following. Very, very simple. Grow your social following. Now, I'm going to tell you how to do that, but first, for the people who want to know to grow without a social following, the easiest method in the game by far right now, hit subscribe. The easiest method in the game by far is to go create a fucking Tinder account, create a Bumble account, create all your dating app accounts possible, okay? Sit there and match with cunts all day. Get Tinder Gold if you can afford it. Sit there and match with cunts all day. Tinder Gold will show you who's liked you, which will save you a massive amount of time. Boom, 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 boom. Like, chat with them, be flirty, don't mention OnlyFans. Say, message me on Snapchat, babe. And there's a reason for Snapchat. Snapchat has that sexy, exclusive sort of feel. When they message you on Snapchat, send them softcore pictures, warm them up, and then from Snapchat, in the chat, send them a link tree to your OnlyFans. We use Linktree to keep it safe so that your account doesn't get banned or has less of a chance of getting banned. Your Tinder, your Bumble, they might get banned. That's fine. You can create new accounts. And then to scale this, okay, it's very simple. Buy multiple phones. You can use different websites online to get fake numbers set up for verification text. You can use burner numbers. You can buy cheap SIMs. Whatever process you want to use. You can use proxy servers to hide. There's more intricate ways. When you scale anything, it brings complexity, which you will have to solve. However, the key method is very, very simple. All you're doing is matching cunts on Tinder, getting them across to Snapchat, and then getting them to OnlyFans. And if you're saying, yeah, well, that takes a lot of work. Yes, it does. But it's very, very easy. Look at this Hive member, okay? They've only just recently joined. Bing! Their first $500 day on one girl's account. Now imagine they're managing 2 girls, or imagine they use multiple Tinder accounts. You can see it's very, very easy to do that. So this video isn't showing you pricing because without understanding content hierarchies, without understanding pricing, without understanding, the value ladders, you're going to struggle to make serious money in OnlyFans anyway. But if you have these other things correct, which I show in other videos, you can easily get there. But this is the easiest marketing method. If you follow this same method and you're not getting to $1,000 a day, it's because you don't understand these other things, which I show here on YouTube and inside the Hive. You can either watch through all these YouTube videos or you can speed up the time and just join the Hive Mom. This isn't a plug, but they're in quick little 3-minute chunks and you can just watch them. Now that I've done that, I want to explain to you the inverse side, which your main question should be, how do I get a big following? Because if I have a big following, it's easy for me to make $1,000 a day. How easy? Imagine right now, let's pick a chick who probably doesn't have OnlyFans, like Keira Knightley. I don't know why Keira Knightley's in my head, but the chick from Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Imagine if she was like, fuck it, I'm dropping an OnlyFans. Do you think she'd be sitting there Googling, I have a big following, I'm Keira Knightley, how do I make $1,000 with OnlyFans? No, she has a big following. So how many of that following is going to buy her OnlyFans? A massive fucking amount. You already know she'd be making 10, 20, 50, even with shitty business principles, 50, 100K a month, probably more. Your goal should be pretty simple. Gain a big social following. Now, you can make money in the interim with OnlyFans using that other strategy, but your goal should just be to build a big following and monetize as you go. So how do you do that? There's two main ways at the moment. Number one is TikTok. You need to be posting 4 TikToks a day. There's whole different ways you can do this to grow faster. Controversy is the number one. Post different things, be controversial. You need to be comfortable getting slandered online. But TikTok, every single day you should be posting. TikTok ads, you should have TikTok ads running as well to get out the credibility of yourself. And then YouTube, you need to put out a YouTube video. And if you don't know what to put out for YouTube, just do what I'm doing now. Document your journey. Talk about your life. Talk about funny stories that went on in your past. Talk about your experiences in OnlyFans. Talk about how much money you made. Talk about how much money you lost. Talk about new ads that you tried. Talk about your videos that got the most likes. Tell them why you think they got the most likes. People think you have to be a fucking teacher. Just be yourself and showcase your journey, and that is enough to build an audience because other people will relate to that. Other people will come across, and not only will you gain a shit ton of subby fans that'll come across and they're like, oh my god, I fucking love you, jerk off. You're going to gain a heap of different girls if you're a creator that watch your content that you can monetize in infinitely different ways. You can use referral links where you're getting percentages of all of their cuts. You can go ahead and use fucking you could do shout for shouts and get them to pay you. Plus they have to promote you on theirs, which gives you more subscribers. You could do paid outreaches. You could build up an email list of dudes and then pay to do email blasts. There are infinite different ways you can monetize, but it all comes down to inversing that question. Look at your question. You're saying, I want to make $1,000 a day without a social following. If the answer is you're in group number 1 and it's that you don't have a social following, you can solve the question pretty easy. How do I get a big social following? Okay, that's how you do it with OnlyFans at the moment. TikTok and YouTube, and stick with it for a year. Put in the work, put in the volume. I've got to stop drinking coffees while doing these. They're absolutely roasting me. I think that's what's actually destroyed me. I've started drinking coffees while doing the podcast. Cannot be done. I'm also mega needing water. And if you wonder, like some people drink their coffee in like 3 or 4 minutes. If you're like, fuck me, he drinks his coffee over like half an hour to an hour. I love it. I used to only start drinking coffee, right, when I was visiting my grandma, who passed away a few years ago. But every morning I would go over and see her, and she'd be like, oh, darling, can you make me some toast and some coffee? And I'd be like, sure, Grandma, I'll make you some toast. Make her some toast, make her a coffee. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll have a coffee with you. And we'd sit there drinking coffee, and she'd drink her coffee real slow. So I was drinking coffee real slow because I wanted to sit there and talk to her. But anyway, it would take me like 45 minutes, and the coffee would be cold by the end. And that's just how I like to drink my coffee. So there's a little story for you. If you want to save time and make more money with OnlyFans, the link's down below in the description. You can find that there for the hive mind. We're over 500 members strong, and I'll continue to put the price up. Like I said, it went up a few days ago. It's going to continue to go up. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll wait, you're going to be fucked. And on top of that, the OnlyFans 2.0, which is showing you how to get from 6 to 7 figures with OnlyFans, or, you know, very low to 6 figures very quick. I just did a business training principle on that. Go watch in the playlist. Legitimately, there's so much value in that video. It's not a podcast. It's just all about OnlyFans, and it shows you how agencies' funnel should look like, okay? And I use a live student example who's done it before waiting for Kajabi. So I show all the things that they did right, and I show all the things that they've done wrong. So that is a massive lesson on the 2.0 of what's to come. So anyway, make sure you hit subscribe. Join the hive, and I'll see you in the next video. Bucka bucka.